Hey guys, welcome back to Jesse Invests. My name is Jesse, and today we're going to be looking at my net worth. We're going to dive in and see how I did in the month of June. This is my net worth as of July 1st. So we're going to look into seeing what assets I have, what liabilities, what progress I've made, what my goals are, what I spent on, where I spent over, where I spent less, things like that. And yeah, before we dive in, hit that like button, hit that sub button down below. Helps me out a lot, helps the channel out a lot, helps this video get seen. I appreciate all of you guys for supporting my stuff. Now, without further ado, let's get right in. So, here we can see that I am down on my net worth this month. I've lost about $2,000, or not $2,000, but about $1,000 in net worth. And this is the first time my net worth has dropped since April. We made a huge jump from April to May and a big jump from May to June. And then as you can see right here, we dropped down a little bit into July. So I don't love to see that. We kind of want to stay neutral if we obviously want to keep growing in net worth, but I'd rather stay neutral than I would drop. But life happens. And as long as we continue to go up in the 12-month span, then we're in a good spot. So let's look exactly why this happened, right? So this month, I have a net worth of $6,718 versus last month's $7,500. So it fell about $800. My assets are at $27K. My liabilities, my debts are at about $20K. That's how we get that gap right there. So my assets went up by $3,000 this month, which is kind of, we're on pace for that every month. You know, April improved $3,000 when May hit. The assets went up by $3,000 more when June hit, $3,000 more in July. So the thing that caused this to stifle its growth was that the liabilities did not fall like usual. In April to May, my debt fell by $500. May to June, my debt went up, but my assets went up a lot. And then July, my debts went up a ton, $4,000 more in debt. $4,000 in debt in 1 month. That is not good. So debt is obviously the problem. We're going to look at why that happened. And one thing I just wanted to quick mention, I guess as a sponsor of this video, is my own Discord channel. Today's sponsor is myself, actually. I want to show you guys something I'm really excited about that I've been building, which is a Discord channel called Jesse's Elite Investors. It is a group of, I believe, about almost 20 of you right now that have joined in, that have access to see different spreadsheets. That's one of the main features of joining, guys. You can get all the spreadsheets in my videos, from my net worth tracker to the stock investment heat map, monthly dividend income, investment returns visualizer, and I'm constantly adding different spreadsheets to this list. So there's a lot of content worth a lot of high value. I'd say over maybe $30, $40 in value here across these spreadsheets that you can get right now for absolutely free. For this video only, guys, if you join in the link down below to the Discord, the first 5 people, I think I'll open up 5 spots, that click that link will be able to get access to all my spreadsheets, access to this exclusive investor Discord, completely free. This is super limited. After the 5 spots are taken, you can go and access my Patreon, which is available for just $2 a month right now with a flash sale, which gives you access to the Discord and gives you access to all the spreadsheets that I just mentioned. Everything I just mentioned for just $2. So that link is in my description as well. So here I'll share announcements of things I'm working on. I'll share things about what I'm buying, so you can get all my stock moves before the videos upload. You can see my status updates that are exclusive to you guys, things like that. I'm not gonna spoil everything in here exactly, but if you guys want exclusive content, hop in the Discord below. Again, dude, that below is completely free. I have 5 spots completely free. The first 5 to click that link. So go ahead and jump in while you can, guys. I appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get to the video. So okay, now if we go over here to assets, we can break this down. So this month, I have $6,500 in cash and bank accounts, $100 in my checking account, $5,600 in my reserve account, which is kind of like a sinking fund account, $730 in my high yield savings, which is down from almost $1,000 last month, and then $131 in my Robinhood savings, which is just another form of savings accounts. So about $100 less in my savings accounts. It's about $900 in June, and then about $860 in July. So about $100 less in savings accounts. Investments, they continue to go up. So my investments have really been steamrolling my net worth growth in 2025. They kind of stayed around $9,000 invested the first 3 months of the year when my investments were kind of stagnant. And then what happened is it started to take off. We go from $9K to $11K to $12K to $13K. It's rising. This is because of a lot of different factors. I have a 401k now, a Roth IRA, a taxable, and in crypto. So I have 4 investments, and then my wife has an investment as well. So altogether we have 5 investments. So everything, my investments went up just a tad bit. A couple $100 on each one equates to a whole grand above last month. So that's nice. My wife's 401k is approaching 1,000, and my crypto is getting to half a grand now. So that's awesome. So no worries in that section. As far as properties and cars go, last month our one car that we have, which is at a lot of miles, 110k, it just passed. Last month it dropped from $5,800 in value to $5,400, and now it's at $5,000. And the way I calculate this value is right here, which is I use the Kelley Blue Book value of our car. I take the high end of the trade-in value at fair condition. It's been in a few accidents. It's got some damage on the front and the rear, so I put it as condition fair, and then see how much the trade-in value would be. So that's how we come up with $5,000 right here. Even with all the things cosmetically wrong with it, it still could probably get us about 5K if we traded it in. Now the thing is, we are underwater on this car because it is worth $5,000, and we owe about, let's jump down here real quick, we owe $12,000. So we want to close that gap over time, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So let's go back to here at the Accent. So we lost some value in our Hyundai Accent. Now we have 2 forces working against us in this because this is a depreciating asset. And I talk about this every time, but with a car loan, it is a depreciating asset because cars depreciate in value, meaning as you pay your car off, you are lowering that debt, but you're also lowering the value of the car. So it's really hard to close the gap between what the car is worth and how much you owe. Because as soon as you pay off a big chunk, it falls in value a big chunk, and it never really gets out from under you. All right, now let's look at the other assets. Went up from $1,400 to $2,400. So that's a big jump, $1,000 increase on the assets, almost doubling the value of our assets here. Our gold went from $1,300 to worth $1,340, so not much change there. My graded cards that I have, my collector's items, went right on the same value, about $90. And here's a big jump. The new fund of travel credit card points cash value went from $15 to $1,000. That's a huge jump, and it's because of a promotion I have on a credit card, the Sapphire. So that is what added $1,000 to this assets category. And to think that if I didn't have that credit card reward, this would have fallen even farther to about here, which is not good. It would have been under even May. So that helped prop up our value this month. Let's see here. Now let's go to total liabilities, 20K in debts versus 16K in last month's debt. Why? Well, short-term debts went up by 3K from just adding stuff to credit cards. That's just bills, essentially. But also it could be overspending. So this section I don't break down as much, and I may do so more in a future type of video. But everything I spend in my life, I put on a credit card. And then anytime I get paid, all that money just gets set aside to pay off the credit card. And I always pay credit cards off on time and everything like that. But this increase versus last month is probably increased spending. I don't think I spent more. I have some checks in place to make sure I don't spend more than what I actually have to pay the card off, but I just spent way too close to what I have to pay the cards off with. So I will not have much actual cash in my account for a while so I can get these paid down. So I just need to be careful. It comes down to a lot of different things, right? Spending less money at the grocery store, going to Aldi instead of Whole Foods or Target, things like that. So those are definitely some things I'm going to lock in on more for this next month because I want my net worth to go up, not down. All right, long-term debts actually went up for the first time, I think this year. Yeah, for the first time in this whole year, and maybe since last year, my debts went up. And why? Because I got medical debt. Bum, bum, bum. So life hit me with a curveball. Thankfully, it's one of the cheapest curveballs life's thrown at me in a while, which was a $700 medical bill because we went to the ER and not everything was covered. So we ended up with $700 having to pay out of pocket, which we did not expect. We did not expect to have to go to the ER. Thankfully, it wasn't for a huge deal that had surgeries and all this other A, B, C, and D, this, that, and the other. So we're down 700, not thousands. But what we did was we activated a payment plan for this, 0% financing, so no interest. And we broke the $700 payment up into $200 payments per month. So it's at $580 right now. If I just make the payments in the plan, nothing extra, it'll be at $380 in August, $180 in September, and be paid off by October. Now, I don't want to drag this out till October, nor does my wife, so we're going to try to make extra payments on that medical debt to get rid of it as soon as it appeared. Okay, so as far as the car payment, though, we went down from $12,600 owed to $12,400, so that's nice. And then we have no other liabilities that would be categorized differently than a short-term and a long-term. An example of a other liability might be a home mortgage I would put under here because it's more than a long-term debt. It's like a 30-year debt. I would put that under other liabilities. But that's where we're at, guys. So yeah, that is where we're at. And if we look at some couple things here, we could see the assets versus liabilities. We could see that my assets are still more than my liabilities, but liabilities took a sharp jump up. Assets took a decent jump up. This gap closed a little bit. It was really wide last month and it's starting to close a little bit. We don't like to see that. If we go to net worth graph here, we can see that right here is where we're at for this month. A little bit of a drop compared to last. And this line right here is just for unentered information for August. But we're about right here. So we dropped a little bit from there, still at a decent spot, but some stagnation is not good. We want to keep going up. If we look back here, we can see some stagnation in the end of 2024. We went through a big period of stagnation and then a big period of stagnation from April to September of 2024. So it's really nice to see that going from a bunch of stagnation last year, we actually have been increasing every month, and we want to keep that up. So that's where we're at, guys. As far as goals go, financial goals, let's look back at the net worth sheet. So obviously, I definitely want to pay off that medical debt. That's number one priority right now. Second is I want to get rid of the Hyundai Accent car payment, or at least close the $7,000 gap of between its value and the debt. Because if we sold the car right now, we would end up with no car and $7,000 owed because we owe $12,000 and the car's worth $5,000. So you end up with a $7,000 in the hole, deficit, whatever you want to call it, debt. So if I can pay at least $7,000 of that note off and bring it down to $5,000 owed, then I would know if anything happened to the car, we had to sell it, it would be worth what the debt is. So that's what I kind of want to do, make $7,000 in extra payments towards that, bring that down as fast as I can. But one other thing I want to do before that is bring up my high yield savings. My savings is only $800, and I definitely want it to be enough to cover 1 month's expenses, which is $2,400. That's been a big goal of mine for a while, to get it back up to 1 month emergency fund. And it's something that's super important that you need. The very first step for an emergency fund is getting to $1,000, which we're hovering at right now. But then the next step is getting it up to 1 month's emergency fund. So step one is pay off the medical debt. Step two, build up the emergency fund to $2,400 or 1 month's expenses. And then start hitting at this auto payment. Timeline for those? Well, by the end of this year, I want the medical debt paid off. I want my high yield savings to be at, honestly, I think that's my goal, is to hit the $2,400 in savings by December. I think that's my goal. And 2025 with $2,000 plus in the savings account. And then I would like to make extra payments on the automobile, but I do not foresee that happening in the next 5 months. So I'm okay just to have my end of year goals be no medical debt and $2,000 in the emergency fund. So that's where we're at, guys. Yeah, hit that like button down below, hit that sub button. Appreciate you guys watching. As I mentioned earlier in the sponsor clip, make sure to check out my channel down below, my Discord channel, my Patreon to offer support. I want to shout out, I have 2 people in the Patreon that recently joined. In the last 2 months, I had 2 people join. So that was really cool. Loved seeing that the amount of people in there increase. We now have, I think, close to 30 people in the Discord with accessing the private community and the spreadsheets and whatnot. So join that 30, hit the link down below, get great value for your money. You can even subscribe for I think it's like $2 a month right now with a flash sale we got going on, and then cancel right away. And then for $2 you get like I think it's over 5 spreadsheets, if not 10 finance spreadsheets, and access to the community. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys in there. All right, see ya.